everybody, welcome to Maths with Mrs Gilbert on Tuesday. Now, today we are going to do what I promised you we would do yesterday, which is to measure in centimetres. Now, centimetres you will find is a standard unit of measure, and you will find them on rulers. You might recognise a ruler like this from the classroom. These are very old rulers. And can you see they've got numbers going across all the way up to 30. Most rulers are 30 centimetres. Each one of the little lines is 1 centimetre. Now we write the word centimetres like that, and it takes ages. So for speed, we just put a C for centi and an M for metres. cm, centimetres. When we're measuring, it's much quicker. So our rulers are all centimetre rulers that we've got in our classroom at school. Now this one is, like I said, a little bit old. Does it remind you of anything else that we use at school? It reminds me of a number line. Yeah, were you thinking of a number line? It is a lot like a number line, and each gap is 1 centimetre, and they're all the same size. And no matter where you go or what you use to measure with, a centimetre is always exactly the same size. So if I'm measuring for a new blind for my window, I can measure it in centimetres, and I know that when I order my blind, it will come and it will be the right size. That's why it's important to have centimetres to measure with. Now, I've got a little bit of a better ruler here. I want to just show you this one. So this one, on one side, it's a bit more complicated because on one side, it's got some numbers that are further apart. Now, we don't need to use those. They're an old-fashioned way of measuring called inches, and some rulers still have those on. We don't need those. So we need to find the bit that says, I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit blurry, cm for centimetres. It's on my ruler there. Now, this ruler does not start at the end. There is a little gap, and there's a reason for that gap. If you look, this one starts right at the end where 0 would be. And if you look, it's because it's old, it's got a bit battered and a bit chewed, so it's not going to be very accurate. So if they leave a gap at the end, it means that if it does get battered about a bit, because often rulers end up in school bags and things, then it doesn't matter. You can still measure accurately because 0 starts here. There's 1, 2, 3. So you've got to be really careful when you're measuring to look where 0 starts. 0 is here on this old ruler, but on this newer ruler it's just there before the one where the blue line starts. So you've got to be really careful. Now I'm going to be using not the old ruler to measure, I'm going to be using the new ruler, so I hope you can see the numbers on it correctly. Now, when we're measuring, we need to make sure, I'm going to measure my hairbrush first. We need to make sure that the ruler is, we did this yesterday, right up to the end of the object. That needs to be where the 0 is. Right level with the end of the object. Okay, can you see? Might need to adjust it a little bit. I can always check with my pencil that it's level, so 0 is level with the end of my hairbrush. Now I'm going to go along until I come to the other end of the hairbrush, and I can see that the other end is up to the number 21. So the length of my hairbrush is 21 centimetres. So that looks like 21 cm, because remember, centimetres is just a short way, cm is just a short way of writing centimetres. Okay, so my hairbrush is 21 centimetres. Let's measure something else. Might leave my ruler where it is and bring in the green felt tip. Now, it is really important, I know I keep saying it, it's really important to make sure that the end of your object that you're measuring is level with the 0 on your ruler. Otherwise, it's not going to be accurate. You're going to have different bits on each side, aren't you? It's not going to be an accurate measurement. If I did that when I was measuring for my blinds, they wouldn't fit my window. So I'm going to make sure that the 0 is right up against the end of my pen. Then I'm going to go along, and it needs to be straight against the ruler, along, and stop. Now then, it's very, very close to the number 14, so I would say that's 14 centimetres. So the felt pen is 14 cm. Okay, right, the last thing I'm going to measure is a book. So I've got Mog the Forgetful Cat here. Now, these are all things that are easy to measure because they're flat. So when you're having a go, make sure you find something that's quite easy to measure. I'm going to line my ruler up against it, making sure that the 0 is level with the end of the book. And then I'm going to go along. And it looks to be around about the 19. So I'm going to say that Mog the Forgetful Cat is 19 centimetres. Now I can look at my hairbrush, felt tip and book, and I can see from those numbers that the shortest object is the one with the smallest number, which is this one, which was the felt tip pen. And I can see that the longest object was this one, which was my hairbrush. So that's the biggest number. That was 21 centimetres. Okay, so a bit like yesterday, what I'd like you to do, you will need a ruler for this. You could use a tape measure, or you could use, sometimes mums and dads have in their house those rolly up tape measures as well. You could use one of those. If you haven't got a ruler, or you could use a shorter ruler. You would just have to find some shorter objects and go and have a go at measuring a few things around your house, being really careful to make sure that you line them up correctly to get an accurate measurement. And when you've done it, do ask a grown-up to check. Now, how you can write it out is you could just put how long it is and what it is. So I could just put hairbrush there and felt tip there, and that was the book, wasn't it? I could just do it like that, or if you wanted to, you could draw a picture of your object next to your measurement. See if you can work out which order they would go in. Once you've measured 4 or 5 things, which is the longest, which is the shortest. So have fun doing that. Don't forget to send me your pictures. If you haven't got a ruler, or you haven't got a tape measure or anything to use today, then don't worry too much about it, because we'll be practicing it more when we get back to school. So bye for now, everybody.